Big news in the snack food business today. Pringles was finally sold by Procter & Gamble to somebody. Kellogg's bought it for $2.7 billion. This trumps a deal that they had reached originally for $2.35 billion with Diamond Foods, whose accounting, Jeff, I think you've determined to be nutty in the past. And so this looks like a pretty good outcome, although there were a lot of lessons learned from this deal.
Yeah, I mean, this was, Procter & Gamble got a little too clever, and they used the structure that they've used before to offload certain food businesses in order to save a lot of money.
So the way it works is it's reverse Morris Trust thing, where you carve out a business, you spin it off into another company, which merges with it, and then offers to that company that's getting rid of the business equity instead of cash.
And so therefore it doesn't get deemed as a sale per se.
So no capital gains go to Uncle Sam.
And it saves a ton of money, and it's it's exceptionally complex, but saves a lot of money. And so, but what happened was that in this last case, Diamond Foods turned out to be have done a few things that were not quite right.
Well, they had an $80 million accounting restatement.
2 different years. They're going to have to restate 2 sets of financial results.
Got rid of their CFO, got rid of their CEO, stocks plunged. So the basic lesson is, when you're doing a deal that forces your shareholders to eat somebody else's equity, you sure as hell better know what you're feeding them.
Right, and that, and it doesn't only happen obviously in these kinds of tax-free structures. It happens in basically in any share.
In any time, like if you're merging with a company and accepting or being acquired, you need to know the other guy's stock is worthwhile. But it seems to me that P&G and its advisors, Blackstone, Morgan Stanley, and I would assume its accountants didn't do enough due diligence on this.
I mean, there's clearly they either missed something, or
we found it. Other people found it. Short sellers found it. It couldn't have been that bloody hard.
Right. No, I mean it was
not that you're not a very good reporter, Jeff.
Oh, thank you. But there were obviously a lot of questions that came up shortly after this deal was announced. And one of the questions that had come up was that, well, all these accounting questions came up after the deal, so how could they have caught them? As it turns out, now that we know that Diamond is actually restating numbers from a year prior, there's more evidence that things could have been spotted.
Okay, so P&G comes away saying, all right, next time we do one of these reverse Morris trusts, we're going to do a bit more due diligence. We're going to make sure our advisors really scrub through this stuff, and our accountants do, before we send it down our shareholders' throats. Of course, from a Kellogg perspective, that's the other guy. These are the guys buying it. It looks to me like they got a reasonably good deal. They're paying
a little bit more.
They're paying $2.7
partly to cover presumably part of this tax bill.
But they also have synergies of about $75 million on a run rate basis, which, tax capitalized, whoop-de-doo, turns out to be more than the premium that they're paying. So for them, it's good. In fact, Kellogg stock is up. So,
I mean, in the end, it's good for P&G because it looked like they were going to get stuck with it. They were trying to get out of the food business. This is their last food asset. It looked like after this whole Diamond debacle, they were going to get stuck with it. Kellogg steps up, saves the day for them, even though they got a little too clever.
But we will keep watching Diamond Foods for all the very interesting things that come out of the nut box there. All right, well, thanks a lot. We'll be back with more Breaking Views tomorrow.